All right, people, just 2 days ago at Trafalgar Square, 3,000 to 5,000 people in a show of force gathered up and prayed. Have a look at this. And Sadiq Khan is praying there as well. And then he gave a pathetic speech about how we are being forced to hide our Muslimness. Look at us. We're right here at Trafalgar Square. Stop us if you can. Some people are putting the number to 3,000 to 5,000 people. So that hasn't gone unnoticed, guys. And it looks like that the UK is now starting to fight back because this Tory MP, Nick Timothy, said too many are too polite to say this, but mass ritual prayer in public places is an act of domination. 100%. That's what we've been trying to tell people. And I'm so happy that more and more people are now starting to use that language. This has got nothing to do with spirituality or people practicing their religion peacefully. Why do they have to do that in front of the whole world at our famous landmarks? Why? I'm telling you, it's so simple. It's like, we're here. And I'm not even telling you. Muslims themselves tell you that. The call to prayer, which declares that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger, is when called in a public place, is a declaration of dominance. Yes, you're saying that all your religions are false. Our religion is true. Sorry. That's why I think more and more Christians need to stand up and stop being pacifist. You need to come out and say, this is not acceptable to us. Perform these rituals in mosques if you wish. I say significantly reduce the number of those mosques too, but sure, okay, we'll start at this. Ban public prayers. Go do it in your mosques or at your homes. But if we hear Allahu Akbar, you're going to prison for 10 years, and as soon as you come out, your citizenship is going to be cancelled. And I don't know, maybe we have to find a new island where we can dump these people if they can't go back to their home countries. And given the explicit repudiation of Christianity, and it's not just Christianity, Hinduism too, I'll cover that in a moment, they certainly do not belong in our churches and our cathedrals. Yes. You know why they pick your churches to go and pray? Again, a show of domination. We are here to stay, and we are going to make you go extinct. It's a statement. I've played those videos many times before.
Be a part of Islam, and we will not stop until it enters every home. So I want you to repeat after me. I want to hear it in every single district. It should tremble. Brooklyn should hear it. The Bronx should hear it. Queens should hear it. Say it as if the Ummah depends on this, my brothers and sisters. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. There is no God worthy of worship except Allah, the God of Jesus, the God of Moses, the God of Abraham, and the God of the last and final prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
I'm not suggesting everybody at Trafalgar Square last night is an Islamist. Well, I am. But the domination of public places is straight from the Islamist playbook, 100%. Trafalgar Square belongs to all of us. It is our national memorial to our independence and our salvation, which has got nothing to do with Islam. Last night was not like a televised football match or a St. Patrick's Day celebration. It was an act of domination and therefore division. It shouldn't happen again. That tweet was seen by 5 million people. Look at this. Enough to start a debate in Parliament. Have a look at this. Look at this. They keep doing that. This is a Bristol City Council meeting. It's a council meeting. Allahu Akbar, Allah. Why does he have to do that in a council meeting? Why? I'll tell you why. Because it's a sign of domination. We're here. Stop us if you can. And they're not going to stop unless we stop them. And look at this. After all of this bending over backwards, they're still not happy. Around half of British Muslims feel they don't belong in the UK amid rising political tensions. We let them pray at our national landmarks. We let them pray in our council meetings, in our parliament. We let them pray in our playgrounds. We let them protest. We let them sabotage our strategic alliances. We let them go scot-free after our daughters, and they're still not happy. What did you get out of this? Why do we not see the Hindus and the Buddhists and other communities behave like this? Why don't we see them? Where are they? And let me say, the other half of British Muslims who didn't say that they don't feel welcomed in Britain, not all of them are completely happy either. They want to see more Islam. They're like, okay, well, let's work towards a more Islamic Britain. So don't think that the other half are like me. Don't think that, because they're not.
We have an election for the local council. We want everybody to...
Look at this. We let them contest elections. Anyway, so let's have a listen to Tutia Kia. Yeah, Tutia Kia. He lives up to his name, doesn't he? Have a listen to what he has to say. And while he's saying that everyone can practice religion, on the right, you can see a woman who was praying silently, wasn't even making a peep, who was praying across the street from an abortion clinic, praying to Jesus to somehow, I don't know, make abortion go away, or maybe show some light to these people. Again, like, she's literally saying that in her head. She's not even speaking it out loudly. And she gets arrested by this police officer. So on the one hand, you have Muslims loudly praying in a show of force at our national landmark. And on the other hand, Christians are being persecuted like that. I have more examples.
When I see religious events in Trafalgar Square, when I see Hindus celebrating Diwali, when I see Jews celebrating Hanukkah live, when I see Christians performing the Passion of Christ...
Look what is happening to this Christian woman. Lying.
Or Muslims praying, that shows the great strength of our diverse city and country.
Look at all these idiots who are still saying, yay!
I've never heard her party call out anything other than the Muslim events. So
yeah, I wonder why that is. Because maybe no other community behaves like that. And that actually proves that there's one problem child, and it's not about race. They're not racist people, because if they were racist, then they would be criticizing the Hindus and the Buddhists and everyone. But they're not. What is it about this particular community?
Only when Muslims are praying. The only conclusion is the Tory party has got a problem with Muslims.
Everyone does. Who doesn't? So anyway, so he asked the Tories to sack him. And then he says, oh, there's no problem with free speech. Have a look at this. This is another Christian. Another UK Christian pastor arrested for preaching the gospel on the street in London.
Don't worry. What have I done? All you have to do is provide... Policemen arresting a preacher in Stratford.
Stratford. And I've been to that place, Stratford. Outside Westfield, there are Muslims. They just stand there with loudspeaker, too much noise pollution, and they're just yelling, screaming at the top of their lungs. It's so disgusting. And they can do it, but apparently when a Christian does it, he's taken away.
What will you tell me that? What have I done? The
Muslims said a few times. It's been explained multiple times. You've had phones ended up in this scenario.
Don't worry yourself. Yeah, I just don't want it to...
And when it comes to Christians, they don't even care it's a black person. You know, because normally these progressives like to show that they're very inclusive and they go the extra mile for ethnic minorities and they're not racist. And, you know, when it comes to Christianity and appeasing the Muslims, they don't even care about the blacks. I think I've shown you enough. So this is a new survey that just came out. So the general public views Iran negatively, 42 points, minus 42. Muslims, on the other hand, British Muslims, have a net positive view of Iran, the regime that kills its own people. This is why we tell you, they have a different concept of running a society. The only sensible solution is remigration. You don't belong here because, look, you have different worldviews. You look at our alliances differently. America is wondering, what happened to the Rolls Royce of our allies, the UK? Well, this is what happened. This is the reason why. UK politicians, they want to get their votes. They can't offend these people. You just saw what happened to Anthony Albanese yesterday. Anthony Albanese got heckled in the Kemba Mosque. He chose to go to one of the most extremist of mosques in Australia, and then he got heckled over there. He got destroyed. He's our Keir Starmer. China, they even view China more favorably. Here you could say that maybe they are standing by their Muslim brothers. Why do they view China more favorably while the general public has a negative view of China? Because they hate the West. There's no other explanation. They hate the West. They even like Russia, albeit slightly more, but like that still shows you they have a net favorability. They have a net favorable view of Russia. And I'm telling you, even moderate Muslims, like whiskey drinking Muslims, they hate America and they hate the West. They just hate the West. Why? Because they have a different worldview. No amount of simping for them. No, even if you close down all pubs and casinos and ban dogs, they would still not be happy. Politically, they see the world differently to you and I. Look at this racist guy. Look at him. He's jumped in.
When Muslims pray in Trafalgar Square, a senior Tory calls it domination. But when everybody else celebrates, it's called diversity.
Yeah, because everyone else doesn't blow up. They don't say ban the pubs. They don't take over churches. They don't intimidate. There's no comparison. There's literally no comparison. And look at this. Soon you'll start seeing other communities speak up against Islam as well. That's going to be a very interesting point. This is the next chapter in the story of Western civilization, where other ethnic minorities or cultural minorities, they're going to start speaking up against Islam. So look at this. Apparently this happened only a few days ago, which I missed. 10th of March it happened. So Bob Blackman said thugs from the Central Mosque attacked the annual holy celebration, which are Hindus, in Harrow, attempting to assault over 1,000 peaceful Hindu worshippers. I raised this in Parliament. 20 attackers, only one arrest. The Met has questions to answer. Have a listen. So Hindus are not safe either. And Hindus are going to find out very soon.
Tuesday, we had the annual celebration of Holi on the old Harrow Civic Centre car park site. This has been run for many, many years. It's a joyful occasion. More than 1,000 people attended. However, thugs from the Central Mosque,
the Muslim community,
left the mosque and then decided to disrupt the proceedings.
Why? Because it's their area. Let me tell you one thing. If Muslims hate Jews and Christians, then they hate the Hindus a lot more. In Islam, Jews and Christians and Sabeans, an extinct group, which Muhammad didn't know at that time that they will go extinct. So in today's world, Jews and Christians still have a right to live as third-class citizens under an Islamic caliphate. You can pay the jizya. You can be confined to limited roles in society, but you can live. But Hindus don't even get that option. Hindus, the polytheists, get two options. Either convert or die. That's it. So that's the reason why these Muslims are now turning up the heat on the Hindus as well. For some reason, I haven't seen a single video of this. I don't know what happened. Of course, mainstream media didn't talk about this, but it didn't even show up on social media. We remember what happened 2 years ago at Leicester, where Muslims attacked the Hindu community, where Muhammad Hijab went there and then he later on lost the case against Douglas Murray. That happened 2 years ago. This happened just a week ago. It's going to happen a lot more, and we're going to see a lot more Hindus and Sikhs are going to come out and they're going to say, I think it's going to get really, really difficult for far left wokes then. And again, they can't help themselves. One might ask that, why are they being strategically stupid? Because if you start acting like this now, you are obviously going to alienate yourself and you're going to antagonize a lot more people, not just the whites, who can easily be shut down by accusations of being far-right racist thugs, but you're also going to antagonize the other non-white people as well. You are leaving a very difficult choice for far-left wokies to pick between the Muslims and the Hindus and the Sikhs and other non-white people. Who they're going to pick? I still reckon the far-left wokies are not blind and they're not that stupid. They know what is happening, but it's a marriage of convenience, which doesn't really end well for the left when it comes to unholy alliances between Islam and the far left.
Pulling over the speakers, disconnecting the audio system, and they were chased away by stewards. That was bad enough. They came back with 20 more thugs and attempted to attack the people celebrating. Now, this is in Harrow, where we have excellent community relations. And I hope that this is something that will obviously not happen anywhere else or again.
Good luck with that. It's going to keep happening. So what's going to happen is, so in places like Harrow and Leicester and Southall, where there's a big Hindu and Sikh community alongside the Muslim community, they will be forced out. That's going to happen. They will be forced out. There are a lot of lefty Hindus and Sikhs who still simp for these Islamists. They really do. They think that there is a good alliance going on between all non-white people against the evil white man. You're going to find out very soon. It's not the white man who's evil. There's one ideology, which is a problem child. Every country you look at, there's always one community.
But the sad reality is that the community tensions that are rising because of various different things across the world, it is the responsibility of us as politicians to actually cool those things down. Can I ask, therefore, the leader, if we can have a statement next week on what is going to be done to cool those community tensions and make sure that people can celebrate in peace and harmony as it should.
How come there were no claps for him? See, this is why I say this is not some noble anti-racist view of these people. I mean, if you want to protect Muslims because it's the brown man's religion, then why don't you show same passion in defending the Hindus and the Sikhs? And this discrimination became apparently very clear during the Leicester riots. We saw how mainstream media, mostly the lefty media, they painted the Hindus as troublemakers initially. But then when more evidence came out, then we realized it was the usual suspects. But why that discrimination? Is it because they know Muslims are more in number, therefore they are more useful when it comes to votes? So he retweeted that a week later. Bob Blackman is saying, since I raised this in Parliament, the violence has not stopped. Ooh, apparently still going. Hindu and Sikh businesses in Wembley have been smashed up. It's getting worse. It's going to get worse. Men beaten in restaurant toilets. 4 men stabbed on Ealing Road. Ealing is nice here. The perpetrators of the original holy attack remain largely at large. And they will remain at large. So, with the Trafalgar Square incident, even Nigel Farage, he made a statement. Have a listen.
Have a look at this short clip. This is what happened in Trafalgar Square on Monday. What we witnessed on Monday in London, in the historic Trafalgar Square, in a country that was based and built on Judeo-Christian values, because that's at the bottom of everything this country's ever been. What we witnessed there was a group of people headed up by the ghastly Sadiq.
People couldn't say these things only 2 years ago, guys. It is being spoken about openly. It's only going to get worse. This is why I remain hopeful. I see a lot of comments underneath my videos and a lot of people sound very pessimistic and even depressed. Please do not lose hope, guys. We are entering the critical phase of this struggle. And honestly speaking, I don't think we're going to lose any of our countries. We're going to go through a phase of order correction. So things will correct themselves. They will. But not if we just twiddle our thumbs. We'll have to do something. And look at this. Nigel Farage. Let me play what he recently said. This is what he has said recently when he thought that he is the new right or conservative voice in Britain. And no matter what he says, he will be dictating the terms. Actually, Restore Britain posted that. See, this is a video we just watched of Nigel Farage where he's saying, oh, there's a Judeo-Christian country and Muslims need to, be in the place, blah, blah, blah. Just 6 months ago, this is what he was saying. And Restore Britain has posted that right under it.
But the nub of it is, we have a Muslim population in Britain growing by about 75% every 10 years. Right? That's just where we are. Mm-hmm. If we politically alienate the whole of Islam, we will lose. We'll lose.
So how does one include
We
them?
will lose. By 2050, goodness knows what kind of a terrible state we're going to be in.
So he basically said that we can't alienate Islam. And now he wants to alienate them. You know why he's doing that? Because Rupert Lowe is knocking on the door. Rupert Lowe, who I really, really admire and I really like him. But again, he's a politician. I don't know. We'll see how things go. This is what Rupert Lowe said. This is the future, guys, of every single Western country. Britain is not an Islamic country yet. We should not change our way of life to accommodate practices like Allahu Akbar. We don't want that. We don't want to hear that. Take it away from me. I don't have time for this nonsense. Or the ears that have no place in any civilized society. 100%. Sharia law, the burqa, halal slaughter, cousin marriage, rape gangs, and more. Britain is a Christian country, and under a Restore Britain government, it would remain that way. We would not tolerate mass-dominating Islamic prayer overtaking public spaces. Entire schools would not be closed for Eid, and kids will not be harassed for eating during Ramadan. And I reported that a couple of videos ago. Labour councils in Northern England have recommended that schools should refrain from drawing and playing music because this is offensive to Muslims. Not going to allow that. No political party should ever allow that. If you have a problem with music, go to Afghanistan. There's no music over there. If you have a problem with Western women not wearing burqas, wearing revealing clothes, go to Afghanistan. You'll see many women in bin bags. This country is clearly not right for you. Stop making excuses for these people. None of this is controversial. None of this should generate hysteria. But of course it will. If a Muslim wants to live under Sharia law, there are many countries to choose from. Afghanistan. I wish them well on their travels. But this is Britain. And we have already tolerated the intolerable for far too long. That must end. There is finally a political party that has the courage to unapologetically stand up and defend the British way of life, one that is absolutely rooted in Christianity. The party is Restore Britain, and I am an atheist, and I approve of this message. And I think there was another tweet after that. Yeah, it just came out 5 hours ago. I've been called racist and Islamophobic hundreds of times today for outlining Restore Britain's policy on banning halal slaughter, the burqa, Sharia law, cousin marriage, public prayers, and plenty more. I want to be clear. I want to be absolutely clear in saying, I want to be really clear about our party's official response. We do not give a shit. Guys, this is the attitude that we need right here in Australia as well. As Anthony Albanese found out today, he got heckled by Muslims when he went to their mosque to wish them happy Eid. He's still hoping that he can simp for the Islamists and get the Muslim vote. I am telling you, the Australian Labor Party is going to lose the Muslim vote just like their counterparts in Britain. It's going to happen. Anyway, guys, good times ahead. This is no time to lose hope, my friends.